So because at Nabi we have a lot of business unit. So we are a part of business unit 1. And also, our team is mainly from main infra, which consists of engineer, landscape architect, and other professionals as well. So basically, we combine into one team so that we can have all this, as you can see in Elmina. Okay. So first of all, I would like to brief on our program for today. We're going to have our presentation first, and then after the presentation, we're going to have our Q&A session. And during the Q&A, you guys feel free to take food, boleh makan-makan, and then we're going to have our discussion. And after that, mungkin if the weather is not that hot, you guys are ready to go for our sidewalk. Okay? And then, so now, allow me to introduce ourselves. We're going to start with Encik Yus, the one with the red cap. Okay, that one is Encik Yusri, the manager for landscape sustainability facility and maintenance. Then we have our team from Kak Nana, Nur Aziana, okay, manager as well for the main infra. Then we have, I think this one is special because she is your senior, and even Encik Yus is your senior as well, alumni lagi. Puan Dik Masura from landscape as well. Okay, and then we have Encik Syukri from landscape. Another one is Puan Nadia. Unfortunately, dia tak boleh ada. And last but not least, I am Zalika lah. It's not Zalika lah, it's Zalika. Okay, so I think if everyone are ready and already been briefed, so you guys know what to do next. We're going to proceed with our presentation. Is it okay? Just a quick question. Siapa yang pernah datang sini? Oh, not. Datang sini apa? Yeah, datang sini apa? Belajar juga. So macam already here as well lah. Okay. So without any further ado, I would like to invite Encik Syukri to present for Elmina. Alright, okay guys.
Hello. Hello. Okay. Belakang boleh dengar? Alright. My name is Muhammad Syukri. I'm from the main landscape department, as Zalika introduced. So today I'll be presenting the landscape master plan for the city of Elmina. But before that, so I'll keep this short. I think I'll make sure that we finish in 30 minutes, so we can go for a sidewalk, which is more interesting. So again, we welcome you to the city of Elmina. Alright, thank you for coming. So just a quick introduction. The city of Elmina is an award-winning township, and since 2017, the first awards that we won was an ELAM award, Landscape Study and Analysis, Elmina East Master Plan in 2017, and in 2018 we won a Planning Award, MIP Award, for Best Landscape in Central Park, and I think the latest one is in last year, 2021. We won the developer category for the Elmina Landscape Central Park. So the concept. So where do we begin? So this is the question where usually people have a hard time to come up with ideas. So in the city of Elmina, we take the existing site heritage as the inspiration for the design concept. The city of Elmina is once an oil palm estate, right? 5,000 acres of oil palm estate. Okay, so within that plantation estate, there's a small community where they have the estate managers, their assistants, and also the workers. There's also clinics and also grocery stores, kedai runcit, and all that. So they live in this small community where everyone knows their neighbor. Even the workers know who's the doctor there. And so that sense of community that we actually want to recreate in the city of Elmina. Okay, that sense of community, the community spirit, right? So even our logo is actually inspired by the palm oil seed, right? So as you can see here, this is the oil palm seed. If you cut it in half, it will look like this. So this is where our logo comes from. And even the orange color is actually the original colors of our oil palm seed. So that's where we got the inspiration from, okay? And when we created the logo, it also looks like the number 8, right? So we derived that and came up with the 8 wellness pillars of Elmina, okay? So to recreate that sense of community that I mentioned just now, that community spirit, so every design stage from there out, we try to implement this spiritual wellness, community wellness, environmental wellness, all this stuff we need to incorporate in the design. So we stick to these 8 wellness pillars. Okay, so what I've said just, a few seconds ago is something that you cannot see. That's you experience that. This is what we want people to feel when they come to Elmina. How this concept, something that you can see, how to create something that people can see visually, right? So in the plantation estate, we have like nice estate bungalows. This is an estate manager bungalow. So as you can see, this is where we get the inspiration from. We get the bricks, the van blocks, and also the grill. So these are the tying elements that we use in our concept to actually come up with things that people can actually see. This is one of our products in the city of Elmina. You can see it somewhat looks like the estate manager bungalows, right? They got the bricks, we got the grills, right? And at the back we got the van blocks. You see, this is the van blocks, right? But not just the buildings, even the landscape uses the same concept. So the architecture and the landscape architect have to work together to come up with a design that gels together and complements each other, right? You see, even the junctions also use the bricks. This is all inspired by the spirit of plantation that I mentioned just now. So the development of the landscape master plan, right? So the city of Elmina is 5,000 acres in total. That's actually huge. And we are privileged that the city of Elmina is actually next to a 2,700 acre forest reserve. This is Hutan Simpan, 2,700 acres of forest reserve. And we actually leverage on that. Okay? I'll show you in a minute. But before that, I just want to do a quick brief that this 5,000 acres consists of actually 4 townships. Elmina West, Elmina East, Denai Alam, and Bukit Subang. So total 5,000 acres. And we have 300 acres of Central Park in the middle. So how do we go about to create this landscape master plan, right? So we go with the unconventional way, okay? Usually a developer would want to like cut the land and like flatten the line to get as much space as possible to sell houses. That's what developers do. They want money, right? Continuous cash flow, you want to profit, you want to get bonus at the end of the year, right? So, but we took the environment-friendly landscape planning approach, okay? So this is the existing topography, as you can see, and oil palm estate have all sorts of topography. We have like ridges, valleys, even hills, okay? So, and one other thing I want to emphasize is, this is a dam, and we have Sungai Subang River crossing right across our township. And that's where we created our Central Park. From the forest reserve, we expanded it into our township, okay? Along the river, then we put our land use and integrate with the green spaces, okay? Usually, people do it the other way around. I create, okay, this is the residential area, this is commercial area, blah, 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 and then I'll just fill in the blank with green spaces. That's what people usually do. But we don't do it like that. Because if you do that, and you don't work with the planner, right, your green spaces will be all over the place and it's going to be so hard to connect all of them. Okay? So you need to think about where to put the green spaces early on during the planning stage. If you do it late, the planner already submit to the local authorities, then it's too late to change. Right? It's going to be really hard. Right? And if you want to change, you have to pay. That's how it is. So it's better to do it right the first time. And we create the landscape master plan. Okay? And this is the Central Park, the 300-acre Central Park that I've been mentioning just now. So this is the forest reserve, and you can see the river crossing right across the Central Park. And the Central Park is divided into 6 precincts. the forest park, which is naturally beside the forest, so we expand the forest reserve, and the nearest to it would be the forest park. The art and cultural park, the urban park, community park, which we are here right now, we're here in the middle, here, the wildlife park and sports park. Total 300 acres. And we already completed this, which we can go and see in our sidewalk later, okay? As you can see, as it goes further from the forest, the activities like is from passive activities to the most active activities like the sports park. So it's like further away. So this is not all coincidence, this is all planning, right? Because you're near to the forest, there's rules. You don't want to scare away the biodiversity that lives there. We have tape, otters, memerang, and all those stuff. We don't want to do that. So more passive activities are near the forest, and then as you go out, then you have the more active activities. Okay, just a fun fact. This wildlife park was actually part of the sports park in the beginning. That was the planning. This whole area is supposed to be the sports park. But when we developed this place, the contractor we already award the project to a contractor, and then they found otters, memerang, there in the pond. And also, have you heard of a bird named heron? It's a wild migrating bird. We found those. And then when the contractor reported to us, we asked them to stop work. And then we redesigned the whole place. And we turned it into a wildlife park. And then we maintain whatever that is there, and then just with minimum disturbance. It changed into a wildlife park. This is what it looks like. We didn't even touch it because we know that this is where the otters live. This is where the birds are, and they're still there. If you go in noon, if you're lucky, you can go in. You can catch a glimpse. So we didn't basically touch it. We touched a bit, but we want the fauna to stay there. So Elmina sustainable initiatives, right? This is what Subang River looks like when the original site of Sungai Subang. And because it's so small, the water catchment is so little that it causes flooding downstream at Kampung Kubu Gajah, right? Downstream Kampung Kubu Gajah always floods. Because the river is so small, it cannot catch the volume of catchment water that it's supposed to. And they actually blame Sime Darby the cause of, because it's our land upstream, so they blame us because of the flooding. But, so we changed that. This is what the river looks like today. Right? And no flooding from there on up. So this is what landscape architects do. They work together with engineers, make sure that we solve issues, right? So we widen the river, and also is already part of our central park anyway. It was part of the planning to incorporate the river in part of our central park. So the whole central park has the river, and we also have water bodies. It can actually become a flood basin. So in a flood event of 1,000 years, like huge floods, if you live here, your house won't get flooded. The park will be a flood basin. It will flood the whole park. But if you're in the commercial area, you're in your house, you won't get flooded. So this is what we planned from the start. And it's still going on. So every time it rains in Elmina, and it does rain in Elmina, always floods, only the park will be flooded. One other initiative that we took is, you see the forest reserve that you see here, I mentioned this now. So we created a knowledge center next to it. We wanted to have like a gateway into the forest for actually people in Elmina to learn about the rich biodiversity that are in the forest. Because you're living next to a forest, you might as well learn about it, right? So this is what it looks like. We have the knowledge center, and also we have the Elmina Living Collection Nursery. We actually engaged with a tree specialist, TRCRC, Tropical Rainforest Conservation Research Center. They are tree specialists / NGOs. So they go into the forest, they collect tree species, URT tree species, and they plant it in the seedbeds. This is what it looks like. So they plant, and then when it grows to a sapling size, 1.5 meters, we plant it in our parks. So when we say that the Central Park is an expansion of the forest reserve, we really mean it. It's the same species. What we have in the forest, we expand it into our Central Park, especially the forest park, in which is going on right now, connecting people. So we have residential areas, commercial areas, parks, and people always say that we want to create a healthy lifestyle. There is easier said than done. How are you going to create a healthy lifestyle? Right? We already designed a 90-kilometer bicycle lane throughout the whole township, 5,000 acres. We have 90 kilometers cycling lane. This house, the one you see at the back, after this you can go and look. That's one of our first launches in Elmina West. When you buy the house, you get a free bicycle. Okay? Because we created the bicycle lane, so it will be a shame if people don't actually use it. So you buy the house here, we might as well, you have to ride along the township. And you can experience now. We have like great landscape, and go and look. So we have this initiative to actually promote people to actually ride their bicycles throughout the township. So 90-kilometer bicycle lane, we already completed 34. So the goal is to come up with 90. So Elmina Community Park, we are actually in Elmina Community Park. This is our first precinct that is completed out of the 6 that I mentioned just now. It's 36 acres and we call it the park next door, right? So I said, how can we actually promote a healthy lifestyle to the residents that live here in Elmina? It's easier said than done, right? So first of all, you need to know who is the customer. When you design anything, you need to know the first question is, who is your customer? So when we designed the first launch here in Elmina, it's a 2060 terrace house, double-story terrace house. So most probably, the people who's going to buy it, the price range is around 400,000 to 500,000. Okay, so people who buy these houses are most likely working professionals. They work from 9 to 5. They go home, they are tired, they don't have time to exercise, so you want to create a healthy lifestyle, but they're so tired after work. They have to go into their car and go and find a park to actually go and exercise. But what if the park is just in front of their houses? You just have to go out, you don't need to even go into your car. You change into your Under Armours, right? And then go and jog and cycle. You got a free bicycle anyway. Yeah. So we bring the park to them. And you can't do this unless you work with the planner in the early stages of the development to actually put the green space next to the residential areas, right? So when you design something, make sure when you work later on, you need to work together with the engineers, the planners, to actually make things work. You cannot work on your own. I'll tell you that. So this is how they go into the park. There's actually a few access to go into the 36 acres park. We also have the inclusive playground. It's the first in Malaysia. Okay, there's no inclusive playground in Malaysia except for this one. Later we can go on the sidewalk and we're going to look. So what we mean by inclusive playground is not a playground for disability, people with disability or children with disability. Okay? Inclusive means everyone can play. Okay? Even your parents can play. Okay? That's what it means by inclusive. Because we don't want the special kids, people with OKU status, they have to go and play in a special playground somewhere. And then he can't play with his normal brother and sister. We want them to play in the same playground. How do we do that? Inclusive playground. With collaboration with UNICEF. Sister, not OKU. Brother, OKU, play in the same swing. Okay? This is one of our initiatives. We also have the Elmina Community Garden. It's actually right here at the back. Yeah. So this is, we already handed over to the residents. We want the residents to grow their own food. This is the nicest community garden you can ever see. When it first handed over, but when we handed over to the residents, they don't know how to plant. They don't know how to maintain a farm. So those are the challenges. You can design and come up with a nice design, but people don't know how to use it. People don't know how to maintain it. So those are the challenges that you need to take. Right? You design something, you need to know the long-term effects. Okay? What is it going to look like 5 years from then? Maybe like health programs, how to plant and whatnot. So developers have a bit of money we can actually spend to do these programs, teach the residents how to actually do a farm, grow their own food, and maybe they will. So these are things that we learn when we do all these things. We have 114 planted beds, 2 composting bins, and 4 storage areas. And the clubhouse, we're in the clubhouse. So this clubhouse is actually meant for events like this. Okay? We want people to come to Elmina, we can actually show them, okay, this is what Elmina looks like, and that's the function of the clubhouse. Placemaking. Okay, siapa kenal? I know tak clear, tapi siapa kenal? Nabila Razali. Dia ada berapa banyak follower? Okay, Elmina ni, there's a problem. Okay, when we develop a township, like further from KL, people don't know where it is. Elmina kat mana? Tak tahu. Okay, but when you start to have like unique things and people start to take Instagram photos, people like artis macam Nabila Razali datang naik basikal, and then orang semua tahu ini kat mana. This is called customer journey, customer funnel. You make them aware of where your design is. Okay. Beribu like, beratus ribu like. Maksudnya orang dah mula tanya, where is Elmina? Even the Hollywood signage, you can see it back there. People also take photos into. So the more places, the unique placemaking that you do, you make your customers aware of where Elmina is. Okay, I presented the concept just now, right? Why is it orange color? Who knows? It's the color of the seeds, right? So whatever that we presented just now, I mean the concept, the spirit of plantation concept, it drives through even to the detail design. So some landscape architects, they come up with like a super duper interesting concept, and then when it comes to detail design, it's just like a wakaf, tak ada buat apa-apa. It doesn't follow through, you see? So when you have an interesting concept, you make sure that it goes down up into the detail design. This is also an interesting place to take photo shoots. This is the Rainbow Bridge. It's really famous. Even drama pun buat shooting kat sini. Orang tiap hari kalau pergi tengok, ada wedding photo shoots and all this stuff semua ada. The Elmina Iconic Bridge. This is actually part of the 90-kilometer cycling track route. Because we want to connect one park to another, there's actually a separation between the community park and the urban park. Later you can see. So we created this bridge to actually connect between 2 parks. Because we have 6 P6, we have to make sure that it connects. And also after this, lastly, the happenings in Elmina, we want to make sure that people know about Elmina. So we do all these events. We have concerts, we have like events like food events, people come and like do foods. So when you design something, we make sure that we have these spaces where we can actually hold like big events, right? Also cycling events. So that's it. So I think I'll leave you guys.